The backyard was alive with the sizzle of burgers on the grill and the laughter of relatives catching up under string lights. It was Aunt Linda's 65th birthday bash in suburban Chicago. The kind of gathering where everyone pretends to be one big, happy family. I was helping set out the potato salad, keeping to myself as usual, when my sister-in-law, Vanessa, made her grand entrance. She swept in like she owned the place. Her designer blouse and heels clashing with the casual vibe of flip-flops and t-shirts. Heads turned, conversations paused. Vanessa had that effect. She thrived on it. "Oh, everyone. I'm so sorry I'm late," she announced, her voice carrying across the lawn like a stage actress projecting to the back row. "You wouldn't believe the chaos at Apex Dynamics. We're knee-deep in this massive acquisition, and my department's handling the entire communications rollout. My director practically begged me to lead it, said no one else could handle the pressure." I watched from the picnic table as cousins and uncles gathered around her, hanging on every word. Vanessa painted herself as the indispensable hero, juggling high-stakes meetings and million-dollar decisions. My husband, Alex, squeezed my hand under the table. He knew how these scenes played out. "Ignore her," he whispered. But ignoring Vanessa was like ignoring a thunderstorm. You could try, but the lightning would find you eventually. She spotted me soon enough, her eyes narrowing with that familiar mix of pity and superiority. Sauntering over with a trail of admirers, she plopped down across from us, flashing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Sarah, there you are, tucked away in your little corner. Still playing with those side gigs of yours? How cute. Must be nice to have all that free time while the rest of us are out changing the world." The relatives chuckled politely, oblivious to the barb. My side gigs were freelance app development projects I'd been nurturing for years. But to Vanessa, they were quaint distractions for a stay-at-home type. Alex tensed beside me, ready to defend, but I just smiled faintly. "Something like that," I murmured, not rising to the bait. That only fueled her. She leaned in, patting my arm like I was a child. "Honestly, Sarah, it's inspiring how content you are with a simple life. Home, garden, supporting Alex, it's like a throwback to the 50s. Meanwhile, I'm grinding 60-hour weeks, shaping the future of tech comms. But hey, someone has to keep the hearth warm, right?" The group fell silent, the air thick with awkwardness. Aunt Linda shot me a sympathetic glance, but Vanessa basked in it, her ego inflated. I felt Alex's grip tighten, his jaw clenching. Before he could snap, I touched his knee. "It's fine," I whispered. Inside, though, a quiet resolve hardened. Vanessa had no clue that her precious Apex Dynamics, the company she paraded like a trophy, was now mine. The acquisition she'd been bragging about? It was my startup, Nexus interface. They'd bought out. And as part of the deal, I'd been installed as the new CEO, effective next month. The board had insisted on my vision to revive their stagnant products, but NDAs kept it all under wraps for now. As she launched into another tale of her brilliant strategies, I excused myself to help with desserts. Finding a shady spot by the fence, I sipped iced tea and let my mind wander back to how it all started. 10 years ago, in our tiny Brooklyn apartment that reeked of ramen and late-night coding sessions. I'd been a junior developer at a faceless firm, frustrated by clunky interfaces that alienated users. One sleepless night, the idea hit, an adaptive UI framework that made complex software feel intuitive, like chatting with a friend. I called it Nexus. Quitting my job was terrifying. My parents called it impulsive, but Alex believed in me from day one. He worked double shifts as a teacher to cover bills while I built prototypes in our living room, surrounded by pizza boxes and whiteboards scrawled with algorithms. The early days were brutal, rejections from investors who dismissed it as fluff, nights crying over failed demos. But Alex was my rock, bringing coffee at 2 a.m., saying, "They don't get it yet, but they will." The breakthrough came from a small edtech nonprofit needing an app for remote learning in underserved schools. I volunteered, applying Nexus for the first time. The result? An award-winning platform that boosted user engagement by 300%. Suddenly, venture capital knocked. Nexus grew from a solo operation to a 50-person team in Seattle, where we'd moved for the tech scene. I stayed behind the scenes as CTO, letting a flashy CEO handle the spotlight. I craved creation, not fame. Then Apex came calling. Their apps were powerful but user-hostile, bleeding market share. They wanted Nexus not just for the tech, but the philosophy. Negotiations dragged on. I demanded control to integrate it right. They caved, offering a fortune and the CEO chair. For 2 months, I'd been shadowing execs remotely, planning the reveal. Vanessa, mid-level in comms, was clueless. Back at the party, I saw her holding court again, complaining about extra merger workload. Little did she know, she was venting to the architect of it all. The irony burned, but I felt no rage, just a calm certainty. Her digs had stung once, but now they were echoes in a room I'd outgrown. As the sun dipped, Vanessa cornered me by the dessert table, wine glass in hand. "Sarah, you should come to our company picnic next weekend. It's epic, rented park, band, exec mingling. Bring Alex, it'll be eye-opening for you." Her tone dripped condescension, like she was tossing crumbs to a beggar. I paused, then met her gaze. "You know what? We'd love to." Her surprise flickered. She hadn't expected agreement. "Recovering?" She smirked. "Great. Dress nice. Okay? It's professional casual." Driving home, Alex fumed. "The nerve! We're not going." But I smiled. "Actually, we are. It's time." He searched my face, then nodded, trusting my calm. The company picnic unfolded under a clear Seattle sky at Gasworks Park, with Lake Union sparkling in the background. Apex had gone all out, food trucks serving gourmet tacos, a live indie band strumming covers, lawn games scattered across the grass. Employees and families mingled, kids chasing frisbees while adults networked over craft beers. It was a polished display of corporate camaraderie, but beneath it, I felt the weight of my secret role. As the incoming CEO, every laugh, every conversation was a snapshot of the culture I'd soon steer. Alex and I found a spot on a blanket near the water, away from the crowds. He unpacked our cooler, glancing around warily. "If she starts anything," he muttered. I squeezed his hand. "Let it play out." For a while, it was peaceful. We nibbled on sliders, watched boats glide by, talked about weekend plans. I eavesdropped subtly on nearby groups, devs complaining about outdated code, sales reps toasting deals. It was intel for my first board meeting. Inevitably, Vanessa found us. She strode over in an Apex-branded tank top and capris, her name tag proclaiming Vanessa Cole, communications specialist. "Finally, I thought you'd bailed," she said, yanking me up for a hug that felt more like a claim. "Come on. Tour time. You have to see this place through my eyes." She dragged us through the throng, introducing Alex with glowing praise. "My brother's the best teacher in the district." And me with a casual flick. "And this is Sarah, his wife." The implication was clear, unremarkable. We passed tents labeled by departments, engineering with VR demos, HR with wellness booths. "Over there's IT," she said dismissively. "All geek stuff. Sarah, not your speed." The highlight was the VIP area, a cordoned-off pavilion with plush seating, and a private bar. That's where the bigwigs hang, Vanessa whispered. My boss is Harlan, VP of Comms, is in there. We're tight, collaborating on the Nexus merger messaging. Huge responsibility. I bit back a laugh. The merger she'd collaborated on? I'd approved her team's drafts last week via email. Anonymously. Just then, Harlan emerged, a poised woman in her 50s with a sharp bob and warmer smile than her emails suggested. Vanessa lit up. MS. Harlan. Perfect timing. Meet my family, brother Alex and sister-in-law Sarah. Harlan shook Alex's hand politely, then turned to me. Her eyes widened, recognition dawning like a sunrise. She straightened, composure cracking.
Sarah.
Thompson? I wasn't expecting. What an honor. Is the event meeting expectations? Can I get you anything? Vanessa blinked.
Confused.
You know each other? Harlan stared at her subordinate, piecing it together. Know her? Vanessa. This is Sarah Thompson, the founder of Nexus Interface. With the merger, she's our new CEO. The entire company reports to her now. The words hung like a thunderclap. Vanessa's face drained of color, her smug grin shattering into disbelief. Her mouth opened and closed, no sound emerging. Around us, colleagues paused, sensing the drama. In her eyes, I saw the replay, every family dinner jab, every simple life comment, now reframed as insults to her boss. Time slowed. The band's upbeat tune felt mocking. Vanessa's hands trembled. She looked like she'd been slapped. Harlan shifted uncomfortably, glancing at me for cues. I kept my expression neutral, turning to her. Call me Sarah.
Please.
The setup's impressive. Love the local vendors. How's employee feedback been on these events? Harlan jumped on the normalcy, rattling off stats about morale surveys. I nodded, asking about inclusivity programs. Vanessa stood frozen, invisible in her own spotlight. My ignoring her wasn't cruelty, it was professionalism. She wasn't family here, she was staff. Finally, she mumbled an excuse about the bathroom and bolted, weaving through the crowd like a fugitive. Whispers erupted as people connected dots. Alex, beside me, fought a grin. That was poetic. Words spread fast. Soon, execs I'd conferenced with approached cautiously, the CFO with a firm handshake, the head of product praising Nexus. We've needed your vision, he said. I chatted strategy, all while Vanessa's absence loomed. By the band's second set, the picnic had transformed for me, from observer to center. Families glanced curiously, kids pointed. Alex leaned in. Proud of you. I smiled. But inside, a deeper shift stirred. Hiding my success had let Vanessa's narrative dominate. No more. Back home that evening, as rain pattered on our roof, I reflected. Vanessa's texts flooded in apologies, explanations. I didn't reply yet. The real test would come Monday. Monday morning dawned crisp. The Seattle skyline shrouded in mist as I stepped into Apex's glass tower for my first official day. My corner office overlooked the sound, a far cry from my home setup. Boxes of Nexus files cluttered the desk. But I felt grounded. The town hall announcement was scheduled for noon, time to make it real. As I reviewed integration plans, a knock echoed. Vanessa stood in the doorway, pale and wringing her hands. Her usual polish was gone, no makeup. Hair in a messy bun.
Sarah.
Thompson, she corrected, voice quivering. Can we talk? I gestured to a chair. She perched on the edge, eyes downcast. I am so
sorry.
I had no idea. All those things I said. It was just family banter. You know? Teasing. I never meant to offend. Please. This job means everything to me. Her words tumbled out. Frantic. Not remorse for the hurt, but fear for her position. I let her finish, then leaned forward. Vanessa. Listen carefully. Outside this building, we're family. Here, you're a comms specialist. And I'm CEO. Your future depends on performance, deliverables, teamwork, professionalism. Nothing personal influences that. Clear? She nodded, tears spilling.
Yes.
Thank you. Relief washed over her. But so did realization. No favoritism.
No shortcuts.
She was on merit now. A foreign concept in how she'd treated me. The town hall buzzed in the auditorium. Screens flashing the merged logo. I stepped on stage to applause. Outlining the vision. User-centric innovation. Growth through empathy. Eyes widened at my name. Whispers rippled. Vanessa sat in the back. Shrinking.
Post-speech.
Handshakes flooded. Her team eyed her warily. Gossip already brewing. Family dinner that weekend at Mom's was tense. The usual chatter hushed as we sat. Vanessa picked at her lasagna. Silent. But others shifted. Uncle Mike asked about tech trends.
Kazinian od startup advice.
We had no idea. Sarah, Aunt Linda said. You're incredible. Vanessa's eyes met mine once, pleading.
Defeated.
I smiled politely, steering talk to neutral ground. The power dynamic had flipped, not by revenge, but revelation. Over months, changes rippled. At work, Vanessa buckled down, her campaigns sharper, less flashy. She avoided me, but reports praised her focus. At home, family gatherings softened, her bragging ceased. Alex and I grew closer, our quiet life enriched by openness. Yet, a quiet ache lingered. Had my secrecy enabled her? Privacy protected my peace. But at what cost? True strength, I learned, isn't hiding, it's owning your light, letting others adjust. In the weeks following, I dove into CEO life. Board meetings dissecting budgets. Late nights revamping product roadmaps. Nexus's framework rolled out. Slager. User feedback soaring. Investors cheered. Stock ticked up. Vanessa's transformation was subtler. Her emails were crisp. Ideas innovative. In a merger update, she pitched a rebranding angle I hadn't considered. Solid. I approved it.
Cicinge share price.
No nepotism. Earned. But family ties strained. At Thanksgiving, she arrived subdued, offering help in the kitchen. Sarah. About everything, she started. I nodded. Water under the bridge. Focus forward. Forgiveness? Not fully. Trust rebuilt slowly. Alex noticed my introspection. Regrets? He asked one night. Only that I hid so long. Let her define me. He hugged me. You shone through anyway. The core lesson burned. Underestimation stems from insecurity. Vanessa's jabs mirrored her fears. My success didn't threaten, it exposed. Power isn't domination, it's authenticity. Unapologetic. As winter blanketed Seattle in gray, the merger's full impact hit. Layoffs loomed for redundancies. But I fought for retraining, preserving jobs. Vanessa's department thrived under the new comm strategy, her work pivotal. In a review, Harlan noted her growth, more collaborative, less ego-driven. One crisp December morning, Vanessa requested a one-on-one. She entered composed, portfolio in hand. MS. Thompson. I've reflected a lot. My behavior. It was wrong. Not just unprofessional. I belittled you to feel big. I'm working on that with therapy. Even. Her vulnerability surprised me. Appreciated. Vanessa. Growth matters. We discussed our projects. I offered mentorship tips from my startup days. Not as family, but colleagues. A fragile bridge formed. Holiday gatherings reflected the shift. At Christmas, Vanessa listened more, bragged less. She even complimented my roasted veggies. Family dynamics evolved, conversations deeper, respect mutual. Alex beamed, whispering, "This is the real win." But echoes of past hurt surfaced. A cousin's joke about hidden bosses stung, reminding me of lost years in shadows. I channeled it into company culture, transparency workshops, empowering quiet voices. Spring brought promotions. Vanessa earned a senior role, merit-based. Her campaigns boosting engagement 40%. She thanked me privately. "You've been fair. More than I deserved." Fairness was my mantra. Revenge tempted once, but mercy built loyalty. Her team rallied. Apex flourished. Yet, in quiet moments, I pondered, what if I'd revealed sooner? Would bonds strengthen earlier? Or shatter? The cage of secrecy taught. Authenticity liberates. Alex and I escaped to the Olympics for a weekend, hiking misty trails. "Proud of how you handled it," he said. "Quiet power." I nodded, feeling free. The story wasn't triumph over Vanessa, it was reclaiming self. Underestimation's danger? It blinds the underestimated most. Reflecting deeper, I recalled early Nexus struggles, a pitch where an investor sneered. Cute idea, but tech's for big players. It echoed Vanessa's digs. Both stemmed from bias.
Now,
As CEO, I mentored women in tech, dismantling those barriers. Vanessa joined a panel I hosted, sharing her journey to humility. Irony aside, it inspired. Our relationship mended, not close, but civil. Family barbecues became genuine, laughter enforced. The true wasn't the reveal, it was internal peace. No more hiding. The world adjusted. By summer's return, Apex hit milestones, new app launches, rave reviews. I keynote at a tech conference, sharing Nexus's origin, not as glory, but grit. Applause thundered. Vanessa, in the audience as staff, clapped genuinely. At the anniversary picnic, same park, bigger vibe, she approached hesitantly. "Sarah, thanks for everything." I smiled. Team effort. We chatted lightly. Boundaries intact. Family-wise. Equilibrium settled. Dinners flowed without tension. Vanessa asked about my work with curiosity, not competition. Alex and I hosted our home a neutral ground. But the lingered, a moral whisper. Is silence complicity? My story urged, speak your truth, lest others script it. Vanessa's fall wasn't karma, it was consequence of unchecked ego. In the end, power's quietest form is self-knowledge. Underestimate at your peril, the underestimated often hold the keys. What paths diverge now? For Vanessa, reinvention. For me, unbridled forward. Life's drama unfolds in revelations, leaving us to ponder. Who else hides their light? Waiting to flesh out. As years passed, the merger's legacy endured. Apex became a leader in intuitive tech. My framework the backbone. Vanessa rose to director. Her style evolved, empathetic, effective. We collaborated on initiatives, past buried.
personally,
I balance CEO duties with life. Yoga mornings, date nights with Alex. Our story inspired a book deal, anonymized, focusing on women in tech's hidden battles. At a family reunion, Vanessa pulled me aside. You changed me.
Sarah.
For the better. I nodded. We all grow. Insecurity breeds cruelty. Empathy heals. Question remains. How many cages do we build ourselves? Break them. Freedom awaits.